G'day team, welcome to another tiny build scale modeling video. Today we're finishing off our 135 Tamiya M18 Hellcat tank destroyer by weathering it up and giving it that dusty look. We'll be using enamel washes and pigments to bring everything together and really make the details pop. With that being said, let's jump into it. Here is our fully painted Hellcat. Check out part 1 where I show you exactly how I painted up the tank, the accessories, and all of the aftermarket stowage. If you haven't already, after painting everything up, give the tank 2 to 3 thin coats of AK Intermediate Gauzy Agent. This is a gloss varnish and it's going to protect all the paint we've done already, prepare the surface for decals, and help our washes flow properly later. After our gloss varnish dries, we'll apply all of our decals. I won't go too in depth here, check out my decals video if you want a full walkthrough on that process. Once the decals are dry, we'll give it another 2 thin coats of Intermediate Gauzy Agent. This locks the decals in and protects them from the enamel products we're about to use. As usual, we'll start weathering with an enamel dark wash. We're going to do a basic sludge wash on all of the wheels, suspension arms, and the return rollers. Apply it very liberally, don't be shy. Now grab some enamel odourless thinner and we're going to load up our brush and apply the thinner to the same areas. You'll notice the thinner cleans the flat and raised surfaces, the dark wash flows into the nooks and crannies, and it highlights the bolts, seams, edges, and casting details. It will also create some artificial shadows. Next, we'll move to the inside of the hull. Same process, apply dark wash everywhere, come in with thinner afterwards. Let the wash settle into rivets, raised edges, bolts, floor texture, and corners. I wanted mine to look like a generic dirty crew compartment, stained with dust and a bit of grease. Take off as much or as little as you want. Now we'll move to a pin wash on the upper hull and turret. A pin wash is very targeted compared to a sludge wash. We're applying dark wash to weld seams, bolts, rivets, nut heads, vents, hatches, handles, panel lines, edges, everything. All the details you can see, we're applying it to. If it looks messy at first, don't stress, the step is about what we remove later. Now we'll come back in with enamel thinner. The thinner will pull the wash into fine details, create artificial shadows, and clean the raised surfaces. Again, if you need to remove excess wash, wipe your brush dry and use the empty brush to gently suck it away. Don't forget the 50 cal as well. For all of our stowage and accessories, we'll do another sludge wash. Apply the dark wash all over packs, bedrolls, tools, helmets, and ammo boxes. Then come back in with thinner, which will push the wash into the folds and creases, creating depth and making everything look used and field worn. Let all of this dry for at least 8 hours, if not overnight. Once everything is fully dry and you're happy with it, spray MOMIG Ultra Matte Lucky Varnish. This will lock in the enamel work, knock down the gloss and the shininess, and protect everything from here onwards. This is the last time I use varnish. I don't usually varnish after pigments because it can make them look strange or unrealistic, but that's completely up to you. Once this dries, we can add the 50 cal on top using a little bit of super glue. Now comes time to use our pigments. From here on out, we're going to use the exact same 3-step pigment process across the entire tank, from the wheels, tracks, lower hull, all the way up to the upper hull and turret. It's a very similar process to my tank track weathering video. You can check it out here if you'd like to. Step 1 is to apply Golan Earth or another dark pigment if you don't have that. Always start with the darker pigment. Apply Golan Earth heavily to the wheels, tracks, lower hull, suspension, and return rollers. Be liberal, more is easier to remove later. We want to make sure we don't apply it perfectly, as dirt doesn't build up evenly. Make sure you get all angles of the track and the front and rear hull as well. Step 2 is to apply Europe Earth or a lighter pigment if you don't have that. We're going to use less than the darker pigment as we don't want to completely cover the Golan Earth we just applied. We use 2 colors because real dirt isn't just one shade. Some is darker, some is lighter, some clay, some dust. Apply it randomly and naturally. Step 3 is going to be enamel thinner. Take enamel thinner and gently apply it over the pigments. This acts as a poor man's binding agent. Don't try and remove pigments at this stage, just wet it and let it settle. Do this across the lower hull, the wheels, the tracks, and the front and the rear. While the lower hull dries, we're going to repeat the same 3 steps on the upper hull and turret, but use far less pigment. General rule of thumb here, the higher up the tank you go, the less dirt you should apply. Apply both pigments where the dirt would naturally collect, around handles, hatch edges, vent corners, weld seams, and panel joins. No random piles on flat surfaces where it wouldn't naturally collect. After you're happy with how it looks, bind it with thinner. At this point, I like to walk away from my desk and let everything dry overnight, just to be safe. Once fully dry, we can begin our final blending. Take a stiff brush and start knocking off excess pigment. I was going for a dusty look rather than thick mud, so I had knocked a fair bit of dirt off. Work slowly and carefully until you get your desired finish. On the upper hull and turret, brush longer strokes to try and blend the dust into the paintwork naturally. I was going for a 1945 Italian front look, which would have made my tank destroyer far dustier than it was muddy. And there you go, all done. Our M18 now looks like it's been operating in the field. Dusty, used, but not completely bogged down with mud. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and leave a comment. It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss future builds and paint ups. Until next time, happy modeling, and I'll catch you in the next one.